I think we had a really solid year of animation last year, actually, now that I look back on it, and now that I'm kind of chasing ones that I missed, thanks to you, because you've put together a very lovely list of all these films. And when I look back, I think we've had a really good year of animation, and I think it will be quite tough to pick out the best ones. So let's just talk through the ones we've got on this list, and let's start at the top. What have you got for us, mate?
Yeah, so we've got a nice little mixture here of some of the more big hitters and some of the more underrated and appreciated gems. So we'll start off with a big hitter. We'll go straight in with Transformers 1.
Yes.
And I know you love this film, so would you like to wax lyrical about this one?
Yeah, I mean, this film surprised the hell out of me, really. Marketing for this film was horrendously bad, made it look super generic, and it just looked like a children's film, which is not a bad thing, but it did just look like it was marketed to kids, didn't it? I went into this film with my younger brother, who is a Transformers fanatic, and kind of just for watching his reaction, this film was incredible. But the film itself is just a really big surprise. I really, really liked it. It's a massive shame it did nothing at the box office, and that sequel is pretty much halted right now, which is very sad. But this is one of my biggest surprises of the year. I loved this. I think the voice cast was good because it's different than having all the same voices we've had for years in the live action. It was quite nice to see someone else do those voices. I quite enjoyed it. But I thought the action scenes in this film, I thought were fucking mind-blowing. They were really good, really intense. I've heard a lot of people say now that you can't see what's going on because it's quite shaky. I didn't get any of that. I thought it was a really clear... Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that. I thought the fight scenes were very clear, very visual, and it had a really emotional core to it, and that's a C line through all these animated films. There's an emotional core through a lot of these, and I think this one did it very well. There's quite a good twist reveal towards the last act, which I thought was good, and it has a very solid sense of humor. This is a very, very good Transformers film, one of the best we've had in years, in my opinion.
Well, it's the second best we've had. We've had two bangers.
We have.
Think of the last two Transformers films. They've been very underappreciated. I think Transformers seemed to... It's like a weird one, isn't it? It seemed to have its boom period, obviously, when we had the originals with the Michael Bay films. And even, I think by 3, it was sort of... They were still going. But I think after that, people just stopped caring and have really stopped caring ever since. And it's a real shame because, they're all great films in their own right. Whether they're not as good as the other ones, they're still good, easy to watch, fun films.
Exactly.
So, it's kind of a shame because I think, as we've agreed, isn't it? We watched Last Rise of the Beasts, and we thought that was one of, if not possibly the best Transformers film. It is genuinely fantastic. Yeah. And again with this one, for me, I wasn't as high on it as you. We've done a review and stuff, and I wasn't as blown away by it. But it's not a bad film. It's just we loving the franchise. There's expectations for me.
Yes.
So if this was just a film on its own, I would have been this is a really good film. But I just got expectations because I love the Transformers franchise, not hardcore fan, but just love the film. But it looks amazing. I loved the fact that even just silly things like the fact that Bumblebee's given a voice in this. Yeah. Made such a difference in it. The fact that you got so used to listening to him through the radio, basically through clips of other people. It was really nice to see being the lovable idiot, really, wasn't it? It's a complete...
He had a fun personality, didn't he?
For everybody, really. It was a completely different characters to the live action films. It's still a fantastic film, isn't it? And I think hopefully we get a 2, and hopefully people start caring again, because it really feels like this could be something that dies because nobody cares, Transformers as a whole, and then in a few years' time people are going to look back and go, I kind of miss Transformers. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So I think it needs more love. Is what I'm going to say about Transformers. Please give this everything. The last film, the last live action, this now, just please give it some love.
I agree.
We love Transformers.
Yeah, we do.
But it is genuinely everything you've said. You've summed it up perfectly. So I don't really need to add much more.
Perfect.
Another film that's I don't know. It's Robot Dreams.
Yeah. Well, this is like a critical
like,
darling. This was loved.
Yes,
Do you know
that's what I was gonna say. This is a film, bro. Film,
Yes.
as you like to say.
Do love film,
Like
bro.
this is gonna be high up in the Oscars, and it's weirdly we've had like the other one we've had two big robot animations this year for some reason, which is really weird. Completely different films. Yeah, this one is. Look, I enjoyed it. It's different, because the whole film throughout the entire, I think it's about an hour and a half ish. There is no speaking, so there is no point during this entire runtime does anyone actually say words. There's communication, with like things, and there's sort of like, you know, not similar to like a Wallace and Gromit, similar to Gromit, where you'll see their eyes move, where you'll see them sort of like and oh, you know, but there's never a word spoken. And it's good. It's really weird. It's really strange. It's basically this guy gets a robot. He's a bit of a lonely fella. He gets a robot. They end up having a lovely date on the beach. They jump in the sea. They have a lovely time, and they're in the sea.
Yeah.
But basically, they lie down in the sun, and the robot stops. Like the robot can't move, so the robot's stuck on this beach. And the whole film then is basically this guy trying to get back to the beach. So it's like right at the end of summer, so they close all the beach, so he can't get back. So this robot, it's basically him being in his house, sadly missing the robot, dreaming about times the robot, and the robot being sad on the beach, being stuck there, dreaming about being back with him. So it's almost like this sort of like weird story of just like just two, like a robot and a man, like a friendship basically, trying to like rekindle a relationship, sort of a friendship rather than a relationship, but a friendship. And a lot of things sort of happen throughout it, and kind of by the time it gets to the end, it's quite it's not an ending that you expect. By the time it finishes, it's not, you know, it's not a sad ending, it's not a happy ending. Well, it is a happy ending, but it's not, it doesn't go where you think it's going to go, basically. But it's kind of like a beautiful film, and it does look lovely. It's almost like drawing-y, like simple. There's nothing, it's nothing mind-blowing about it. It's very simple animation. But I mean, considering it's an hour and a half of no communication, I think it tells a story. You know exactly what's happening. So it tells a story really well, despite that. It's an interesting one.
I definitely want to see this.
Watched it and, I think this is a film. Again, we kind of mentioned sometimes some of these films are just for film bros, or for people who really love cinema. And I think if you watch this, you probably get a lot more out of this than I did. For me, like the lack of language didn't hinder it. It just, you could feel the hour and a half. Do you know what I mean? Like you kind of hit a point where it's a bit like, right, like because you have to keep watching because nothing really is going on. You can't really just listen to it, sort of thing. So it's great, and it's incredible, like as far as what they can do with it, and I can 100% see why people love this film so much. But this is definitely going to be something that's not for everybody. You know what I mean? I think people who will watch this and enjoy it are going to absolutely love it. But for everyone else, it's sort of a bit of a, it's not even a bit of a wanky film really, because it's a lovely film. It's just that lack of dialogue.
It's going to be a bit of a patience tester, isn't it?
Watch. It's a weird watch. Like, it's really strange. By the time it finishes, you're a bit like, it feels a bit more like an experience than a film. If that makes sense.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
But very. I would highly recommend it to, well, I mean, for you to definitely watch it, and then for people who are just interested in the more cinema side of cinema, sure, or something different. Even if you do something a bit different, if you listen to that and thought, that sounds like something I fancy seeing, go ahead. Next up, we will do something you watched today. Dan.
Okay.
Orion and
So this film kind of took me by surprise massively. I'd heard things about it. I'd heard it was kind of... So basically, the writer of this film, Charlie Kaufman, is kind of a king of existential crisis. There we go. That's the word I was trying to say. He makes these films that are quite dark. He usually makes films for like 15s and up. You know, it's like he's like a just a normal director, and he makes a lot of films that tackle a lot of dark subject matter and all these existential problems you have as a human being. This did it in a kids' film with some of the best animation I've seen all year. This one really, really struck a chord with me. So I've been painting a wardrobe. That's kind of my day-to-day thing at the minute. And I had this on as I was doing it, and I just kept looking at it, and I couldn't stop. I really, really admired the style of it. I think it kind of struggled in the beginning where it didn't know if it wanted to be for adults or for kids. So there's a lot of like juvenile humor in the beginning. It almost felt like Diary of a Wimpy Kid to begin with. That's the vibe I got from it first. And in the first 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is 100% for me. It kind of kicked into this bit where you find the darkness and then you meet all these other things to do with life. And from there, it just clicked. And I really ended up loving this. I'll probably get quite deep with this because it's a very deep-rooted film. I think this is one of those films where I almost wish this existed when I was younger, because I feel like you can take comfort in this if you're a bit of an anxious kid, if you're a bit of a worrier, if you're a bit of you're scared of everything. I think I probably would have connected to this quite a bit as a kid, but I don't know if I had a kid, would I let them watch it? That's my big question with it, because there's a lot of talk about. Let's be real, right? I don't want to say too much and get and trigger people, but there's a lot of very depressing themes throughout. There's a lot of death, a talk of death, a lot in this film, and this was where I was telling my brother who has younger kids, and I said you should watch this, but not with your kids. You should watch this on your own. I think this is too much for kids, if I'm being totally honest. My worry with it is I don't really know who they aimed it for. It's a beautiful film. I really loved it. I got so much out of it. But I think it's going to be one of those films where it almost puts the dread into kids. Like the fear of everything, the fear of being bullied, the fear of the dark, essentially. It was a very deep-rooted, emotional film. I loved it. I just don't know. It's for kids. I just don't know if kids should watch it if you're quite a impressionable child.
Hey, no, I can kind of see your point. I didn't see that.
Okay.
Like, I understand. I think it's one of those films that you can't just watch and as a child and switch your brain off, because, I mean, how many Pixar films do we watch, or Disney films?
Of course.
Well, more Pixar, that you watch now as an adult and go, oh my God, I can't believe they got away with these things, because you don't notice these things as a kid.
Yeah.
So
it's
a wholesome enough story, and I mean, you know, we have things like, I know it's not really comparison, but you have things like Lion King where his father dies. Like there are a lot of animated films out there that do deal with things like death and stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that side of it as much as you did. I felt like this was almost, it felt like Inside Out to me.
Yes,
like a real,
it did.
Like, I think I don't know whether it was influenced by it or not, but it's very similar in its sort of almost what did they call them? Not elements. They called them something.
They were like spirits or something, weren't they?
Emotions. Yeah. So they call them something, but yeah, it's sort of like the things that go bump in the night, basically, isn't it? It's things like silence, it's the dark, it's the random noises and things like that, isn't it? Where it's the things that are supposed to scare you, but I think for kids watching this, if they were scared of the dark, or were scared of those noises, or were scared, I think for parents, it'd be a good idea to watch this, because next time your child's going, oh my God, there's something outside, go, oh no, it's that.
Yes.
The noises from outside.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it almost gives you like that hope. And I mean, I'll be honest, that kid for a majority of this film was pissing me off.
Because of the screaming and all that, is it?
There was, it was kind of like, I feel like it lingered a little too long for me. I think it will make or break people's enjoyment of this film with that child, because obviously by the end he's kind of calm and it's a really well told story.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
It's almost like a Lego movie-esque storytelling, you know, where you've got that sort of thing going on. Um, but yeah, it's for a majority of, especially the first sort of half of it, that he was gripping my shit. I tell you, it got to a point where I was like, please, man, please, like, just stop now.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand you're scared of things, but please stop. So that was kind of annoying. But I mean, yeah, the characters are fantastic, and it's done. I don't know how well it's done. It's quite interesting. I'd be quite interested to see like how popular it is.
I
It
was
is on
really
Netflix.
surprised.
Assuming-
I was so surprised to see the DreamWorks logo pop up. I had no idea,
Mm.
and I think they've had a phenomenal year, really. With like what they, even if it was just 2 releases, they've had a really strong year. And genuinely, I wanted to hear about this more. I've seen people talk about it, but not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a slightly underappreciated, really. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, when you have like Netflix originals, these sort of things just fly under the radar. There's so much on
They
there,
do, yeah.
and we're kind of not well, we're 100% not the target audience either.
No.
So yeah, I think maybe for kids, this has been particularly popular. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, great film, great animation, and a good. I mean, as we said, it's good in a way because you've seen the deeper meaning to it.
Yeah.
I've seen the more simple animated side
Yeah.
of things. So yeah, I think in hindsight, it probably is a film for everyone where
Yeah.
you will get, or your kids will get out of it different to what you get
Yeah.
out of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I just want to try.
Yeah,
I hope
maybe
this
it
gets
is.
a Blu-ray release because I actually really, I probably enjoyed this more than I think I did. I really, really liked it. So to own
Yeah.
this, I'd like to put it in the collection. I got a real kick out of it. Really, really enjoyed it.
Good. So, next up, a film you haven't seen yet, and a film I'm not going to go too long on because
Yep.
it's a film we've already covered. It is Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
War of the Rohirrim.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a beautiful film.
Mhm.
Let's get that out of the way. As far as animation goes, it's that new sort of, well, it's not, I don't know if it is new, maybe I'm just talking shit, but it feels like it's like a new anime style where you've got the sort of the anime looking
Mhm.
people amongst the sort of more realistic looking backgrounds. Like everything else is more real looking
Yeah.
a bit. Like I think this is a beautiful film, especially towards the end. Like there's sort of big fight scenes and stuff. Yeah, it looks incredible. This film is gonna, like we discussed this. I don't know who this film was pretty much made because they didn't want to lose the rights for
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, which is a shame because it is actually a great film. And I sort of mentioned like I'd love to see more of this.
Yeah.
Like if we can get more of this sort of like animation, even if it's different styles of animation or something, of these just different offshoots of the Lord of the Rings or the Tolkien universe
Yeah.
as a whole. It's a very specific story, dragged out to about 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
It's a great story. It's for the fans. I think if you're a fan, don't be wrong, then you may watch this as an actual fan and be like, well, actually, that didn't really happen,
Yeah.
and it might not be the exact specifics. And I think we discussed that there's a main role in here. Like there's one of the main girls in here is made for the purpose of
Yes.
the film.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of actually watching the film, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, it's basically about, for any Lord of the Rings fans or for any fans, if you've seen the films, it's basically about how Helm's Deep became Helm's Deep. So you're literally with King Helm and his sort of family and all that sort of drama that happens there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was as I said, a female character, like his daughter was created for the purpose of the film, sorry. But again, it kind of makes sense, and I'd love to see more of this.
Yeah.
Like a shame for them to just be, oh, here we are, we'll just do this to keep the rights. Like that is a shame, but hopefully, I mean, I don't think it's done particularly well
No.
either, unfortunately, because it's this film. It's kind of made for fans,
Yeah.
kind of, like, do you know what I mean? Like it's, and I mean, it was barely publicized. Like
Yeah.
we were aware of it
Yeah.
because we were kind of in that bubble, but
Mhm.
I think everyone outside of this doesn't even know this thing exists.
Yeah. I agree.
Which is a real shame. But yeah, hopefully, if they can run with this now and sort of make more of these like Lord of the Rings spin-offs, in the animation style, then I'd be happy. But yeah, if this is it, it'd be a shame.
Yeah.
But this is a film for the fans, and I think it's a film for people who just have a general interest in Lord of the Rings as a whole and in the world. Like, it's a nice little story to tell. It looks beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there that kind of think, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch
Yeah,
it. Which is fair. It's completely understandable. It is a shame, but yeah. Please. Please.
This is one I definitely am going to watch,
man.
because I had an interest in seeing it anyway. So I just want to be able to sit down and proper concentrate on it, because it looks like something I'll enjoy. So
yeah, no, it is a really good film, to be fair.
Yeah.
So next up, we have another one you've just watched.
Yes.
Literally just.
Oh,
we
yes.
have Ultraman Rising.
Yes.
What did you think, my friend?
do you know what? In the end of it, I was disappointed, I'll be honest. I think it started off strong. It started off very strong. And let's get out of the way, the animation is fucking spectacular. So Netflix this year have crushed the game. They've done a really good job with these animated stories.
Their animation is on fire.
So good. I loved that. I think the voice acting was really good, and I think a really underrated thing was the soundtrack, and the score was fucking so good. It was like a mixture of like rock and kind of like hip hop. I really liked it. Really cool. So the first half an hour kind of kicks off, and I was locked in. So it's kind of about this guy. He's a kid first, and he likes this Ultraman superhero. I don't know if this is a franchise or if it's just this film. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I believe it was a thing, but where, what, and why, I don't know.
Fair, makes sense.
I don't think this isn't a 2.
Right. Okay.
Basically, is what I'm trying to say. This
That's
isn't
absolutely
like a follow-on. I think the franchise as a whole exists somewhere. I think.
Right. So yeah, he's a kid first, and you see he's interested in baseball, and he likes this superhero. So they kind of, as parents, they're like, who would you rather be? And then he grows up to be both, which I thought was cool. And then you kind of later on you get you get the story of
his father.
Sorry, go on.
Was Ultraman.
Yes, yeah, his father was
the
Ultraman.
whole thing is like the big kaiju things, isn't it? And so he wants to be a baseball star, but his father, and they're all fully aware of it, is also this Ultraman who is basically just beating up these kaijus that keep popping into Japan. Yes,
that is it. That literally is the basis of the story. As we go on, obviously we see the guy we're following, and he is Ultraman now, and he's also this big baseball player. So he's already juggling these two things, and then long story short, he basically has to look after this baby kaiju. This was where it lost me, unfortunately. I liked the plot. It went a little too juvenile for me, a little bit too childish, where they kept making jokes that I was a bit like, this is very aimed at children. But again, kind of like Orion, I was lost because the action scenes and the struggle of juggling like fatherhood with a job and like a hobby was really deep, and I was like, oh, I like that. But then they mixed it in with this humor that every time they made a joke, I was like, oh, this ain't for me at all. And that's kind of where it lost me.
No, it's not. It's a kids film made for kids, isn't it?
It is. But then, as I said, with the deeper themes, I was quite surprised that they kind of took it to that level. I said the visuals kept me enjoyed throughout. I enjoyed that, but it was kind of ironic because the story is all about juggling all these things and still kind of being a person, whereas the film did too much, in my opinion. I think the concept was great. I think the execution needed work. It's not a bad film by any means. Like, if you like kaiju kind of films, this is a good one. But I'm also not big on kaiju films. It's not really my thing.
No,
and it kind of came to a point where I was like, did we even need the superhero backstory? Did he need to be a superhero, or could he have just been a baseball player looking after something? It could have been a child. I just don't know if I needed the superhero plot. And there was a point where he wasn't Ultraman for like 45 minutes, and I was like, oh, so I don't really need it. In the end, I thought it was fine, absolutely fine.
So he loved it. No, look, as we said, I think when you mentioned earlier with Orion, that's kind of a film that is made for kids that adults can get something out of, and this is very much made for kids. Like, this is 100% a film made for kids. I think there's probably people who are interested in kaiju in general and interested in that sort of Japanese culture probably would,
Yeah.
you know, the anime sort of stuff would get a kick out of this.
Mhm.
I enjoyed this. I didn't dislike it. It was something where I'm interested enough that I would watch it too. It's not something that I'm like dying to go and watch
Of
again.
course, yeah.
I loved the differences in animation of, like, it, as you said earlier, it looks beautiful, but I loved the action scenes changed slightly.
Oh, yeah, it was sick.
This sort of comic, almost like comic booky sort of fighting.
That
Like, it
last
looked
fight
like
scene was
something
so
out of the comic
stylized.
book. Yeah,
Great.
I think like the actual fighting scenes themselves are incredible. To be
Yep.
fair, yeah, the story is a story told so many times, isn't it?
Mhm.
Really, like, as much as like it's an alternate version of it. I enjoyed it as a whole. I'd say it wasn't nothing that I was blown away by. I wasn't like, you know, as I said, it's not something that I'm going out of my way to see
Yeah.
again. But I think it was fun enough. I think they set up a number 2 quite well as well.
Yeah.
Like, it sets up something going forward. Yeah, it was just a nice little. It was about an hour and a half or so. A nice.
Oh
little
no,
time.
that was my
Good action
issue.
scenes.
It felt too long. It was 2 hours, and I
2 hours, fair
I
enough.
don't know if it needed to be 2 hours. I was a bit like, hour and a half would have been fine. 2 hours is a little long. I felt it a bit in the end, but
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I personally didn't feel that. I think it was like paced out but towards the end, maybe. But again, we had like the massive scene at the end where I think it just about warranted it, you know. But yeah, look, as I said, this is 100% a film that you would put on for your children to watch and enjoy. Like, keep them busy for like 2 hours, and you might catch bits of this.
Yes, I agree.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, like, I don't know if I would, if for most adults, I'd be like, unless you have an interest in anime or in kaijus, I wouldn't be like, go and see this film. This is incredible.
I agree.
But yeah, it's a good fun time for just 2 hours to switch your brain off.
yeah, very fair.
Lovely. Right, up next is another Film Bro film.
Way!
So this one, again, why am I watching all the Film Bro films that you love? So it is Flow.
Okay.
Now,
I've heard
yeah,
so
this
much
is another
about
one,
this.
isn't
It's
it, that
unreal.
people are like, when I was like researching this just to see sort of like what's the more underappreciated, or like the better animations that people haven't seen, this just came up time and time and time again. Like, people fucking love this film. It's fine.
Oh wow.
I'll
Okay.
be honest.
Okay.
Like, it's fine. It's another sort of one of those where, I mean, there's no speaking again because they are literally animals.
Yeah.
In this film, like, so we follow in a little cat who is literally a cat. There's no speaking. It's a literal cat
Yeah.
living in this world. And yeah, basically, there's sort of like a little cat that's sort of living in this. I don't really know what it is. Like, this little forest. Like, as if people don't exist. As far as I can see, something's happened, and people. It's either people. It must be something happened. People don't exist because there's like these weird little like statues of cats and stuff
Right.
around. So there's clearly somebody has been alive,
Yeah.
but they're not alive anymore. So I don't know exactly what's happened. But
I
yeah,
get it.
we kind of follow this little cat going around just being a cat. And then basically this whole huge like tsunami comes through, and this water level keeps rising, and it's just a sort of film about this cat surviving
Okay.
through this sort of big tidal wave, basically.
Yeah.
So it goes on this big journey. I think, what did we end up with altogether? I don't know if they write them all down, but yeah, we kind of ended up. There was a dog.
Yeah.
There was like this big bird thing there. There was a capybara.
Capybara,
Yeah, there was one of those. There was a skunk, I think.
Okay.
No, there was a monkey. There was like, so there's like an arrangement of about 4 or 5 different animals. There's basically in a boat, and basically like going through. So you like see these animals along the way, and they sort of collect them. They've all got their own like little personalities and stuff. And it's, I don't really know, like that's all it really is. Like, it's not, nothing really happens. It gets a bit like mental towards the end, where it's a bit like, what the fuck is actually going on? Like, it gets a bit out there
Okay.
towards the end. Like there's a bit at the end where you're just a bit. I don't really know what that. I understand the logic behind it, like the message they're trying to say. I understand what they were trying to say with the scene.
Yeah.
It's so out the blue.
Okay.
You're just thinking. I mean, obviously, it's a weird film anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got all these like animals like swimming around and helping each other, and yeah, it's it's just fine. Man.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those films. Like it looks nice. I wouldn't say it's like oh my god animation.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's very simplistic, which for some reason people seem to love this new like simplistic.
They
style,
do.
which
They
is
do.
fair, I guess, because we've kind of gone like we've sort of mentioned this. We've kind of turned into the Spider-Verse is basically taken over
Yeah.
animation, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
we've got a lot of this like watery color, like painted-y color sort of like animation. So I think people, when now going back to the simpler animation, people are preferring that, which
Yeah.
is fair. But not for me. Like I
Yeah.
prefer that style. I prefer styles where they go in just trying things
Yeah.
rather than being like here's another animation. It looks fine. It is fine. It's just a film. Like there's no. I'll describe this to you because again you're just following a bunch of literal animals
Yeah.
on a boat
Yeah.
going around. Like things happen, you go, oh my god! Like I hope you know. Obviously, there's dangers and there's different things because obviously like none of the animals can swim, so you obviously have issues with them like almost drowning, things like that. So things happen along the way, but it's nothing. It's nothing that you're like, oh my. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I know.
It's a relatively nice. It's a relatively nice film. Like I can't really. I'm describing it horrifically
Yeah.
because there's nothing to describe.
Yeah.
It's a load of animals on a boat in a wave.
Yeah, like if I'm being
For
totally
an hour
honest,
and a half.
I don't really have much interest in it. I'll be real with you. I'm kind of
No.
I'm a little bit burnt out on like cat stories. There's like so much media around cats these days, and I think Stray the game, I think that kind of kicked it off. And since then, we've just had loads of stuff about like animals and stuff. And this one just doesn't look like it sets itself apart. But I can almost guarantee that if a different film we're going to talk about soon doesn't win the Oscar for Best Animated, this is it. This is
Yeah.
what's going to win.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can. I can sort of see why.
Yeah.
I can sort of see why. Like generally, when it comes to like the Oscar baity
Mhm.
film, I look at them and I can go, yeah, I see that. This one, I'm a lot more there. Like
Okay.
I can see it. It's not warranted. And like if this wins, it doesn't deserve it. That's what I'm
Fair,
saying.
fair,
It doesn't
fair.
deserve it. Like it's not even like an Oscar baity film. I go, yeah, I see
Yeah.
that. No, it doesn't deserve to win an Oscar.
Fair.
It deserves attention, and it's probably going to come back now and they'll be like, one man made this over 3 years. I'm like, oh, fucking yeah, it's fantastic. Then. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you know, it could be made in a specific way. You know, he had fucking no arms, he was doing it with his chin. And they're like, oh, yeah, fucking hell, that's incredible. Like, you know? But as just a standalone film without
Yeah.
knowing anything that came with it, it's fine.
Okay.
It's another
Okay.
one where if you're interested in sort of more artsy, if you're interested in artsy like animation, like weird, you know, that sort of style,
Yeah.
where you've got to take from it. Again, I think you'd probably get more out.
Yeah, you watch me watch this now, and I love every second of it.
Yeah. For me, I'm simple.
Yeah,
You go.
I know.
I'm a bad guy. I'm a good guy. We're gonna go do stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're telling me to go, but if you think about this,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to think.
Yeah,
about
fair,
this
fair,
person.
fair,
I don't
fair.
want to. So yeah, if you like artsy stuff and you like a film that you can take your own interpretation from, 100% watch this. If you're watching it just to go, I want an hour and a half to kill.
Yeah. Fair. Very fair. Very, very
So
fair.
that's where I'll leave it.
You went on for a long time with
next
flow,
up,
didn't you? Fair play, like.
I know. Well, I was trying. I'm sorry, but it's because I had nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Though, like, it's nothing interesting to say about it, unfortunately. Next up, Pharrell. Peace. Bye. Peace.
Ah.
What do you think about the film?
I was, again, I'm going to say this quite often, pleasantly surprised by this. I enjoyed this. It's nothing groundbreaking. This is another weird one because I still don't know who this was made for. Who the fuck is this made for, right? Because you've partially got this beautiful Lego film, right? The animation is absolutely stellar. This is incredible animation. You've got all these scenes of him like flying in the space and like swimming in this ocean, and visually, this is for children. You've got bits where Snoop Dogg comes in and he's an actual dog. Do you know what I mean? This is a kids movie.
I love to see the
yeah. We'll get to that. It was very good. We got, but then in the end, and like there's weird bits in the interview where people are swearing. They say shit multiple times. There's like adult jokes, and this is a story about a man's life who kids wouldn't know. So I can see why this film bombed. I can exactly see why, right? Because I still have no idea. I just have no idea who it was aimed for. Do you know what I mean? It's so odd.
It's just a biopic that's made in Lego, though. I think you can't really look into this too much. Like, it's Lego, which is like aesthetically you think it's a kids' film. That's like saying South Park is for kids because it's animation. It's not. It's not made for kids. It's a literal biopic. And if this was not in Lego, you'd go, oh yeah, it was quite an interesting biopic. That was.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
In Lego, that people kind of go, ooh, there's something, and I think that was the point of it. I think like when you see it, he's just like, when you look back, you go, fucking hell, Pharrell's done a fucking lot. Like, what a fucking talented man.
Yeah.
And you know, you can kind of see that it's just how he is. Like when you actually watch the film, you go, yeah, it kind of makes sense why you've done it in Lego, because I think he wanted to just speak. Like he even describes it as like he could see music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he hears music, you can literally see the colours.
I love the visual of that. Do you know what I mean? I love the visual of that.
And I mean, it looks fucking incredible.
Oh, it's
like it does.
amazing.
Like, the animation throughout this film is incredible.
Soundtrack as well, insane.
You can kind of see that they've done like interviews with people, and they've got like old, like I love the fact they had like a few old clips of him, like in like old video clips of him, where they've literally taken the clip and just Lego-fied it, which was great. But yeah, I think I can understand why, because I think biopics don't do well anymore unless they're
Queen
stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody.
And
unless it's something where somebody's reenacting a life story, that sells. But anything where it's literally a person going, this is my career, no one gives a shit.
Yeah,
a shame,
and
because it is actually great.
I think my biggest issue, apart from me kind of being like, who is this marketed towards, that I can get over that because at the end of the day, I enjoyed watching it. My biggest complaint with this film, I don't think it's interesting enough to warrant a whole almost 100-minute film. I think his music career is super interesting. Like, there were songs coming up that I had no fucking clue this man worked on. It was insane. When we got the little bit of him in the studio and someone's working on Michael Jackson's Dangerous album, mind blown.
Yeah, but when it goes like, it's like halfway through the film and it hits the mid-2000s, and then it just starts dropping.
It's banger after banger.
Every single, like the mid-2000s was Pharrell.
Yeah, literally. And this, I mean, I think that side is super, super interesting, and I really like to see that. But if you kind of take that one element away of what he had to produce, I know the film's about a music producer, maybe this is me just reaching, but as a story of his life, I didn't find anything interesting apart from the production side, which was obviously the main point of the film. But I just think his life was actually, like, this might sound harsh to be saying, but his life was pretty straightforward. He had good parents and a pretty easy ride through, and then he just kind of smashed it. And then in the end, he had a bit of a stumble and carried on. But there was nothing here where I could chew on, that I could be like, oh my god, that's kind of crazy. It kind of, maybe it's because I like biopics and there's been some good ones, and maybe I'm just kind of comparing them. But this, I just don't think there was enough sustenance for me. I think I wanted a different story maybe, and it was quite safe. I think that was my issue.
Yeah, it's fair, but again, that might just be his life.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly, and that's no, I completely agree.
Like, Pharrell, your life's fucking boring, brother. Right? Where's presentation, eh?
But I almost
struggle, you dickhead.
I almost feel like that's why they Lego-fied it, because there's not much going on. That's my only thing. The best part is when Kendrick Lamar comes in and they do all right in Lego. Give him all the Oscars, but that was so sick.
No, I look. This is, if you've got no interest in Pharrell, don't watch his film. Obviously,
agree.
I really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it. I'm not like the biggest Pharrell fan. I liked NERD back in the day. And I've kind of like, I mean, you can't avoid Pharrell,
Happy.
unfortunately, which is mad because not only is he done,
Yeah.
not only is he like produced pretty much every song that you listen to in the mid 2000s, he's also like he's dropped probably about 20 songs in his life, and you know every single one
Yeah.
off by heart because it's overplayed.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh, shit. But yeah, like I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like a nice little weird take on a biopic. I like the fact that people at least trying things.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? I don't think for these sort of films, like I don't think they're made to make money because they don't give a shit. Like
No.
12 Mint did. Like if he's making a film at this point to be like, I need money, then
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Like, this is purely made for him to go. Here we are, and I'm assuming in the States maybe a lot more people are interested in it. But he's not a massive name, Pharrell.
No,
As we said, when you look at the songs, it's mainly production rather than and Happy and a few more.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm just salty because I did enjoy it. I actually really liked it. I'd probably watch it again. I did really like it. I just think my issue is with Lego and not with Pharrell. I think Lego Movie 1 was such a fucking good film that I'm still waiting for him to do something like that again. And every time they make a film, it's just like we're going further and further away from that. I'm like, why don't we go back there and do that again? Do you know what I mean?
This is not Lego Movie though.
No, I know. But I'm just like, I want a Lego movie, a new one for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, which is fine, but yeah, you can't be mad at Pharrell for that.
No, sorry Pharrell. I like just never ever put them Lego minions in your film ever again. That freaked me the fuck out. Like,
that was not it. But yeah, again, I think visually it's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's my biggest takeaway from this is visually like
and soundtrack's so good.
Beautiful, yeah, bright, colourful, beautiful soundtrack. Like it's a good little time. If you're interested
I agree.
at all in anything Pharrell's done, give this a go.
I agree.
And don't go into it expecting to be a kids' film.
Yes, I completely agree.
It's just a biopic with Lego.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah,
don't worry. Right, next up, a film that's I've been trying to stay positive. Dan, I've been trying to be like, I know this isn't for me. This might be for other people. Then we got this, and it's rubbish. It's Watchmen, Chapter 1 and 2. Now this is like one of the highest rated things I've seen. Like,
is it?
8, 9s, 10s. People fucking love it.
Wow.
You look at this Chapter 1 and 2, but everyone, 8, 9s, everywhere. It is fucking, people love this shit. Like, and it's fine.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a literal redo of the film. If you've seen Watchmen, you know exactly what's happening. There are literally like obviously you're like the Watchman.
I fucking love Watchmen.
Film.
Yeah.
And I've watched it like enough times to know it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it for years, but there was as I mentioned to you, there was scenes in this that I was going, that's literally word for word.
Yeah.
Word for word, exactly what they say in the film. And so it's a bit like there were a few extra bits that you go, okay, like I can kind of see why they did this as an animation. Like you see, do you know when they sort of like show the end of the world thing? Like you see there's like the big one-eyed monster thing that turns up.
Okay.
Like you see it rather than just being like, oh, we've ended the world. Like you see the thing. So I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's it really.
Yeah.
And there's this weird little like pirate story going on in the background.
Right.
That's all the difference is. There's a kid reading newspaper and there's a pirate thing going on.
Right.
Outside of that, it's Watchmen.
Yeah.
In animation. Like it's just like I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand why everyone's so like, oh my god, this is it. It does nothing different.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to watch this. It looks good, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Like I don't really want to even harping on too much about it.
No, it's fine.
Watchmen, you know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Like it's just fine. If anything, if anything's a bit rubbish.
Okay.
It is a bit rubbish. Like for people to sit there and go, "Oh, this is 8, 9," it's not. Like I'm telling you now, it is not. You're full of shit. Like there's probably people going, "Oh, it's a lot more accurate to the comic."
Yes.
I mean, as you said, if you're saying there's 2 or 3 scenes out of the original Watchmen that you wanted in this film, and that's why this is better, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, like just grow up. Just grow up in it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's oh well, they didn't include like the one-eyed monster when the man reads it about the pirate. Fuck off. Like it's rubbish. I don't even give this any more time. It's rubbish.
Well, what a watch!
It's not a good film.
Fair.
Nah, it's not a good film, and I would happily go. And I didn't even have the start, but the start doesn't even. We haven't even got that opening.
Yeah, Watchmen open is the best.
One of the best.
One of the best.
One of the best in cinema history.
I agree.
But instead, you just got fucking bollocks. Shove that up your ass. Next, I don't even care, man. It's rubbish. Sorry, it's rubbish. Like, if you enjoyed that, good for you. Next up is Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh, this is you again, baby.
Now you know, but you've kind of seen this.
I've pretty much seen it. Yeah. I mean, what can you really say about this franchise at this point? Do you know what I mean? This franchise was high back in the day. This was a good franchise. I almost said Kingsman. Fuck me. Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2 are excellent films. They are absolutely amazing. This is when Jack Black was at his peak. These were action-centric films with a good family through line, which was great. 3 was okay. 3 was more of that, but kind of more family stuff, kind of turning that up. And then this one this feels too late. I mean, it's just another Kung Fu Panda. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean? There's not really much differentiating, but it's not as strong as the last entries. This is just kind of like they had to do it because it's Kung Fu Panda and it's going to sell, which I think it did. I think it did decent enough. But I think, for me personally, we're in the era of, and this makes me so sad, but Jack Black is doing too much. This man is doing too much, and I'm getting tired of seeing him do things at the minute. Like, take a break. Do you know what I mean? Let's stop this. He's the king of kids films at this point, and yeah, exactly. Whenever there's a kids film, you can almost guarantee Jack Black's going to be there. Respect to the man, respect to him for getting the money. Do you know what I mean? I gotta respect it, but I just think he's lost a lot of credibility to me because obviously kind of threw away his band to do things like this, and I have lost a bit of respect for him. So at this point, I just don't really care about this franchise anymore. One time it was really good and I would have watched anything they've done. Now it's kind of like whatever, I don't really care. So take that as you want, really. That's Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, I mean, this is the definition of Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah,
like this is the fourth Kung Fu Panda film. If you see 1, 2, and 3, you know you're getting to.
And Awkwafina's in this one.
It's not as good as those two. I know your favourite. She's fine in it though. She's actually fine in it. She's like, she's the more toned down one, which is kind of mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's fine. They sort of use like they don't have the general squad in here.
No, the Furious 5.
Or whatever they're called. Furious 5, that's the one. Yeah, there might be 6 of them. So yeah, the Furious 5 they don't have in this film. So they kind of made up for it by bringing back. They're basically making a chameleon character that can bring back all
Tai Lung and that, isn't it?
All of the old villains.
Yeah.
So they've kind of done it that way. Yeah, again, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
As I said, it's Kung Fu Panda 4. There's not really much more you can say about it, is it? It's not changed it's not invented the wheel or anything. It's just you've gone, buddy. What they've essentially done is gone, we've done a new Shrek, we've done this, we need to get a new Kung Fu Panda out, let's just slap this one out. There's not a lot of effort going into it. It's just a generic kids film. Do you know what I mean? So take that as you will, really. And I don't want 5.
No, let's put it to rest now. Let's move on with the other franchises. You know, let's leave that go.
Yeah. Right. We have 2 left.
Okay, beautiful.
This has been a long time.
This has, it's been a long time talking about animated films.
Okay. So this one is a banger.
Okay.
Let me tell you. These last 2 are bangers. But
They are.
This one is this was the one that surprised me most. It's a film called Memoir of a Snail.
Yeah.
Now this film, it's fucking amazing.
Is it that good?
It
Yeah.
is.
Don't spoil this one
It's
because I want to
incredible.
see this.
No. I'm not going to. I will give you a very brief.
Yeah.
As to what the hell is going on, but I don't want to spoil this for you. That it's
No.
fucking incredible.
Okay.
So it's in the claymation style.
Yeah.
It's the entire film is claymation. It's,
Nice.
It's Australian. So obviously they're all Australian, which kind of it's always a little
It's charming, and it's so charming.
It's just something about them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just Oh, it's just a bloody lovely. It's a lovely story, a kind of sad story, and just there's it's a bit. How would you describe it? So it's basically this woman who is looking back at her life, and
Okay.
she's like she's at a point in her life she's going. I'm not really sure where I'm going, and she's like reminiscing about all the time. So she's gone like from birth pretty much
Yeah.
up to the point of where she is now. So that's basically what's happening. You have like all the bits of her life leading up to it. She's had like a tragic life,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. But yeah, there's a lot of like sadness, but it's kind of done in a way where it's like, I don't know, there's it's sad, but I think because it's like in a claymation style, like you kind of I don't know, there's just something about it that's almost like nice
Yeah.
sad. It's really weird. When you see it, you'll kind
I
of
know
understand
exactly what you
it's-
mean. Yeah, it falls into that category of kind of
You know
like
what I mean?
sweet sadness.
Yeah, where it is sad. It is there are some fucked up parts in this film. I'll be honest. But yeah, it's just got this sort of like underline of positivity.
Yeah.
You know, like throughout it, you're always feeling like for some reason things are going to work out. And there's something, you know, no matter how like shit it gets through, you always just kind of feel like it's going to work out.
Yeah.
It's going to be all right. Yeah, I mean, it's the voice acting in this is fantastic. It looks incredible. Like it's such like an old school claymation style. as well. I mean, we
It's
watched
almost
one
ugly, isn't it? Like it's almost an ugly
No,
looking
it
film.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say now. We watched the latest one, and that looks incredible.
Yeah.
Whereas this almost looks like the original
Yes.
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
It takes it like right back where you can almost see the imprints of them, and it looks a bit. It's almost, I guess, a bit Burton animation.
Yeah, it does look
in a
it.
way. You know, where it's a bit like it's a bit grimy, it's a bit dirty, like everything's a bit like got like an underline of like greys and browns and stuff throughout it. But yeah, it's just a beautiful story about just a lovely woman
Yeah.
and her quite tragic life. Who's just and even it's not even like a big grand, as much as like some crazy things happen in it. It's not like a big grand thing where something happens and then she ends up being the queen or stuff like this. It's not about that.
Like
It's
a quiet,
quite
contained story.
grounded. It's almost like it's quite a grounded, almost like realistic story. Like if this was somebody going, this is what's happened in my life in a claymation style, you could believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't recommend this enough, honestly.
No,
It's
I
not
really want to
for
see this
everybody.
one.
It's just not for kids. It ain't for kids.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
put that one out there. It's not. This is 100% not for children.
Okay.
You know, like if you've got babies, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's deep.
What's the
It's
age rating on
and
it?
like
Is
I
it
said,
a
there are some-
12?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Let's have a
I
look.
would assume so. Maybe 12 to maybe a 15.
Oh.
But yeah, if this is a you, then I would personally.
It's a
say
15, yeah.
15. Yeah, there we are. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're as long as you're not child, it's fine. But it's just a bit. They do some. As I said, there are some fucked up scenes in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would highly recommend for everyone. Well, I know you will be seeing it very soon, and
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing what you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it just took me by surprise, to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of people raving about it, and I seen like stills of it, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I was like, fucking hell, like I couldn't stop. Do you know what I mean? I
Wow.
needed to see everything, and it was this was like one of the underrated bangers of the year.
Well, I'm
Like,
glad you
genuinely,
enjoyed it, man.
it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Finally, we're here. It's the Wild Robot, Dan. It's the Wild Robot, Dan.
Yeah. This,
Go, man.
I mean, like, this, we obviously did a whole review on this. I cannot speak highly enough of this. This is not only the best animated film of the year, let's be honest, this is it, but this is one of the best films of the year. This film had such a fucking impact on me that I still haven't forgotten
Yeah.
every single frame of this
I
film.
don't want to watch it again.
No. I want to revisit it, but I know if anything, I'll be more emotional revisiting it because I know what's coming. But this film, man,
Yeah, I know.
it broke me down to my chord, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've ever cried that much during a film. And
No,
I think the thing is, it's not even like so sad where you're feeling down. It's just like so heartfelt and so beautifully told that everything they do in this film just works. There's not a scene that I didn't like. There's not a character I didn't like, because all the characters are either really funny or tragic or just well told. Even the robot whose name is escaping me right now, I can't remember the name they use for it, but her, I thought a robot being in this world of animals would kind of be like, no. And there's that bit in the trailer where she goes, I'm the wild robot. I was like, oh shit, that looks cheesy. Do you know what I mean?
Stupid,
But like, oh my god, the way they incorporate this robot with these animals is so fucking good. Like, this film, if you haven't seen it, and again, I don't know how well it did. I don't think it did too well, but it's like, people fucking love this film. If you've seen it, you love it. Do you know what I mean? I watch a lot of YouTube critics and stuff, and I know a lot of people had this, if not at the top of the best films, in the top 5. So this is, if this doesn't win animated film at the Oscars, then I boycott it, because this is the fucking film. This is DreamWorks. Honestly, I might say this is DreamWorks' best. If I'm being totally real with you, I love Shrek, I love all these things, but this is fucking otherworldly. This is incredible.
No, I completely agree with everything you said. Like, I mean, it looks incredible. The story is just beautiful, and like it's as we said, like we were both like choking up like instantly, like, and just from you're within the first like 20 minutes, like you're holding back, and nothing's even happened. Like, it's nothing. You're not, it's not like anything emotional's happened. It's just as you said, it's the way the story is told is just like
stunning.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? Like, it's just it's such a difficult film to describe to people, because it is just emotion. It's not something that you can look at and go, this look cool, this look cool. This is going to sound really stupid, but you've got to feel it.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
And it makes you feel like it's so hard to explain. I mean, this is it. Like, this is one of the as you said, it's one of the best films you've seen this year.
And what's so funny about it is, like, a lot of the story is about like motherhood, or kind of like looking after a child, or losing a family member.
That's a reason we can be related to. We have no children.
That's what I mean. But like, you almost feel it where you've gone, if I was in that situation, I'd feel this way. And the way they convey that story is fucking unbelievable in this. I think this is a Universal, I think this is a U-rated film. And I've never seen a U-rated film that is like so flawlessly told, to a point where kids are going to be entertained, because it has quite a bit of action, stuff like that, and the visuals are very much there for children. But like, the adults, this is a film for the adults who are taking their kids to see it, and I could not have been happier with the product I'd experienced watching it. And one thing I think never gets mentioned enough with it is the comedy in this film is genuinely hilarious. I think because the subject matter is so heavy, when someone says something funny, it's die hardly funny. It's brilliant. But this is one of the best films I've seen in years. I love it so much.
No, I completely agree with everything you just said.
Yeah,
there is nothing more you can say, Dan. I mean, it's The Wild Robot. If you haven't seen it, go fucking watch
100%.
Whatever you're doing now, put it fucking down. Stop it. But wait till the end of this video so we get like a few. Then just leave us running, and then just put it on. Just find it somewhere. I don't care. Find it on your stick. I don't care. Do whatever you need to. You said it. What are you gonna do? Arrest me? No, go find this. Go find this film wherever you can, and just watch it, because it is fucking incredible.
It's a masterpiece. It's so good. But those were some of the animated films of the year. That was a long one, wasn't it? We enjoyed that.
That was a long one.
No, it's always good to shine a light on the animation, though, because animation flies under the radar a lot, because people go, oh, it's a kid's film, I'm not watching it. But like, as you've seen, some of these some of these films have some of the best storytelling of the year. So even if we talk kind of negatively about it, you could really enjoy it. So definitely check out everything on this list, really. But like, there is like, with animation, there's always something for someone. You will always find something you'll enjoy, which I think is a great media. I love animation so much.
I completely agree with everything you said. Thank you all for listening. We'll have one more. We'll have another 2 or 3. We've got 2 or 3 2 or 3 big videos dropping, 4 big videos dropping this month. Just as like a recap of last year and things that are coming up this year, and then we've got a nice little surprise for you sometime next month.
Yes, hopefully. Hopefully. Yes, thank you very much. All the socials will be on the slide at the end, and we will see you.
Comment,
yes.
Comment your favourite animation of the year.
Yeah, and if it isn't a wild robot, get a grip.
Yeah, but if you missed if there's anything that you love that we missed, please let us know in the comments down below.
100%. And we will see you next time.
Goodbye.